Network. We'll talk about the week that was Lady Braves basketball coming off a very challenging Florida swing in terms of logistics. The Lady Braves did get a split, and now they have Jackson State coming up on Saturday, the final of their three in a row on the road, and then they come home to take on the Texas teams, and then Mississippi Valley and UAPB to end the regular season. Man, down the stretch we come. Basketball season's about over with already, the regular season anyway. Time's flying right on by. We'll take a 30-second timeout when we come back. Nate Kilbert on the Nate Kilbert program at the bottom of the hour, head coach Landon Bussey. We'll be right back in 30 seconds on the Braves Sports Network.
Here at Alcorn, we understand that we share some commonalities with one another. So in some ways, we're already family.
Seeing everybody, seeing more people that looked like me and had the same mannerisms as me, it was fantastic.
The variety of people here really made me feel at home.
When I stepped on campus, it felt like I was supposed to be here.
When they say the grass is greener here, they really mean it.
Coming up, we have the Nate Kilbert program here on the Braves Sports Network, 91.7 WPRL, WPRL.org. And we are on Facebook Live, WPRL, as well as YouTube, Braves Sports Network. Glad you can join us. Back off the Florida swing, flew in this morning, landed in Jackson about 8:30, and here we are. Lady Braves have been back in the friendly confines of Alcorn State University for the last couple of days. Difficult second game, though, against Bethune-Cookman. Has that stuck with Nate Kilbert? We've got questions, and he has answers. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-301-2611, and on X, Tall Man Radio. On Saturday, the Lady Braves will take on Jackson State, and it's been a while since we've seen Jackson State. How have they changed since that first conference game? So we'll talk all about that. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Braves head coach Nate Kilbert rested and ready to go. Coach Kilbert, how you doing?
Doing good, Charles. Good.
It looked like the Florida swing did a lot of good for you. You look fresh and ready to go, but I know that Bethune-Cookman game is probably still stuck in your gut like a lump of coal, I would imagine.
Well, to be honest with you, we're going to move forward from both of those games. Jackson State is our focus right now. You have to, Charles. I thought we had a golden opportunity to come out of Florida with 2 wins, and it didn't happen. We got a split. And when you go on a roll like that and playing against 2 good basketball teams, a split is what you hope for, and if you get 2, that's just great. But we got what we wanted when we went there, what we was hoping for at least when we went there, and we got their split. And had an opportunity against Bethune to pull off 2. It just wasn't meant to be because I thought we played well enough in the game. I thought the officiating was probably the worst that I have seen this year when it comes to some of the things that were not called and some of the things that was called. But with all that being said, we still had an opportunity to win the game against Bethune, and we just couldn't pull it off. But I thought we did a good job of being able to win the game at FAM because I feel like that FAMU is the better of those 2 teams. But I will say this, I think Bethune give us more matchup problems than FAMU does. So, it's all about the matchups,
I was just about to ask that, Coach. In basketball, you can match up piece for piece. We match up well with Southern University. We match up well with Florida A&M. But Bethune-Cookman, it clearly is a tricky matchup. We won by 10 at our place, and they play at a totally different gear at their place. We're going to talk about that on the back half. But, Coach, I'm going to say this. We've got these road trips. You've got the Texas swing. Week after next, you got Valley Pine Bluff, 2 relatively short trips. In the past, we've had the Alabama swing. You got Southern and Grambling. But I'm going to say that Florida swing is, and maybe it was just because of the logistics. We were down there the day before the Daytona 500. You had to stay in Orlando, which was an hour out. And I was going to mention this to you the other day in that game with Bethune-Cookman, that teams that come to Alcorn, they stay in Vicksburg, they stay in Natchez. Some teams stay in Jackson, for those who might not know. Yeah. That's tough for you to be able to get on a bus and drive an hour, 45 minutes. And I know you have to deal with it. It's no excuse. But that is one thing to drive 10 minutes It's one thing to drive an hour and 10 minutes or 50 minutes. For a team to be able to do that, I think it's just amazing how they can do it. I mean, it's probably no big deal, but after having to make that trip from Orlando to Daytona, I'm amazed how players, coaches can just keep that level of focus. Maybe I'm overblowing it, maybe I'm overdoing it, but teams that come to all court and shoot the lights out, whatever the case, man, it's just that's just a tough thing to do, and but they do it. We've seen it.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, Charles, but it depends on how focused your team. What kind of team do you have? Most of the time, if you have an experienced team, it's a lot easier. But a lot of times, experienced teams ain't focused like they need to be. Yeah. With this new generation of kids, they have a lot on their mind. They got a lot going on, and the ability to be able to focus, especially on games like that. Like that driving from Orlando to Bethune. That's a tough ride. And then you got to be ready to play when you get there because it's an early game. And I'm sure they have some of the same problems here when they come to play us at Alcorn. Driving from Jackson, Vicksburg. That's a nice little ride, and you got to be focused once you get there. But I think the team that focus the best when they on the road like this and playing these games are the team that's going to have a better chance of winning. And I thought our kids was focused on both of those games. I just thought we just didn't get the job done against Bethune. But overall, I thought the trip, under the circumstances, with the Daytona 500 being there and all the stuff that was going on in Florida with the weather being so bad, I thought our kids was pretty focused. We just didn't get it done.
Well, I will say that people probably wonder why are you staying an hour out? Why are you doing that? And that's because of the fact that in Daytona, rooms were hard to come by. And this has been talked about between you, the men's team, me, everyone involved for at least 6 months. Back in August, I was told that, hey, you better try to get you something because in Daytona, it's hard to come by. And this was back in the summer. So this is something that was worked on. And even if you were able to find accommodations, it was going to cost a pretty penny just for a couple of days. And so, I mean, that's the reason why that was done for those who might not know why that was done. So, but we started off with Tallahassee, coach, in Florida A&M. And I saw Bridget Gordon, their team, yesterday practicing right before our men's game. And that was a tough matchup, 74-69. We're able to get out of Tallahassee. Coach, talk about that game and what impressed you, because it was back and forth. And last year was a 4-point lead we had. We let slip away, but we found a way this time.
Well, I think every time we play them there, it's always a tough ball game. It's always a good ball game for fans to watch, though, because the games are always close. I think both teams play pretty good basketball when we play them there. All a matter of big shots. Who's gonna make the big shot? Who's gonna make the big play that actually turn the game? And we were just fortunate that we made the big play, especially after I got the technical call on me, and they went up on us in that same possession. I thought our kids really responded well to that, and we really got going after that. It's very important that you stay focused and stay attuned to what you're trying to get done. And one thing about this group, we don't never really feel we out of games. We really feel like we always got a chance to come back because we could score a little bit better than what we could last year. So I wouldn't. I feel real good about where we were late in that game because we was playing pretty good basketball. But so what? The fan was playing pretty good basketball too. But I feel like if the game is close, we're gonna have a chance to win it simply because I think we're gonna execute better than they are late in the game, and we're gonna get the ball where we want to get it later in the game. And I thought our kids did a really good job of shot making, and that's what it's all about with us. Are we gonna finish our backdoor layups? Are we gonna make our 10 and 8-foot jump shots? Because we're gonna get a lot of them. And I thought we did a good job against Bethune in making those shots. I thought we had kids to come off the bench and play well for us, and I think that's key. When it's your time to step up, you have to be ready to step up. When you get that opportunity, you have to take advantage of it. And I think some of our kids are starting to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, we didn't have opportunities early, coach. We were down 24-9 in the first quarter, but then we outscored them 28-7 in the second quarter. And it's been a while since we said we had a really, really bad quarter. But that was one that was a tough first quarter for us. We were down 15. And you were saying that what Florida A&M was doing was kind of bothersome, at least to start, and we had trouble adjusting. What were the challenges in that first 10 minutes?
Well, I think the biggest thing was, Shaw, we just wasn't making shots. We had opportunities. We just wasn't making them. Back to what I just said a few minutes ago, we was getting those little 8 and 10 foot jump shots. We was just missing them. And I think, you know, as the second quarter came along, we started to make more of them. We started to press them a little bit more. We started to speed the game up a little bit more for them. But, you know, when we have it on bad quarter, that means we're not getting what we want. That just means we just not making it because we got the ball where we wanted it. We got some good looks at the basket. We just missed those shots in the very beginning. But we felt like we was in a good place. Even being down the way we were, because we know we was getting what we wanted. And at some point, we felt like we were going to start to score these baskets, and we were going to start to get those little easy baskets. And it came in the second quarter. We started to get finish all those backdoor plays. We started to get those little 8 and 10 foot jump shots to fall, and we hit a couple threes. I think that's the difference in the game. It's just, you know, we kept believing in what we was doing because we felt like what we was doing, we was getting what we wanted, and that's all you can ask for. And we just kept executing, and eventually the baskets started falling for us.
Well, we outscored them 28-7 in the second quarter. It was 37-31. We had the lead at the break, and then they outscored us by 3 in the third quarter. But then in the fourth quarter, Coach, some weird stuff started to happen. Kiara Henderson got in foul trouble. You got a technical foul. We kind of got flustered with some of the calls. How are you able to settle that thing down after all of that in about a 2 or 3 minute span? Technical foul, 2 calls on Henderson. One of them was questionable, I thought, but she was in foul trouble, and you had to deal with all that, and you were pacing up and down the sidelines dealing with those calls and non-calls, and then you got a technical. Your first technical fouls since you've been the head coach of the Lady Braves. Talk about that 3 minute span where just it seemed like everything just came apart.
Well, the good thing about it, Charles, it didn't come apart. I mean, even during the process where we was well, I got the technical foul, and Kiki had just got her, I think, fourth foul. We really never was panicking. You didn't see anybody. The only person that was outraged was the official. I mean, because we never really did anything outrageous to the point where even with me getting the technical, you know, the only thing I asked asked the official is to give me my minute. She promised me. She said, "Give me a minute, coach," and and I asked for my minute, and she gave me a tech. But we really was still under control of what we was doing as a unit. Because Kiki was upset that they called a foul on her because I thought it was a charge, and it wasn't not a foul. But we never lost our composure. You know, I thought our kids stayed real focused in there. That's probably the best I've seen them, especially after me getting that technical and Kiki getting her fourth foul. We just stayed so calm. I thought we responded real well after that. We got the ball to the people that we wanted to get it to, and they scored for us. And before you know anything, we had to lead again. And that was late in the game when they went up on us like that. So we stayed calm and stayed focused, and I thought our kids did a real good job of just staying solid. I think that was the key. We didn't really, we know, even though it looked like we was in disarray, but we really wasn't. I mean, we had our game plan, and we stuck with our game plan, and we executed. And I thought that was the difference in the game, to be honest with you.
Well, we made shots when we had to, Nate Kilbert. Marine A.K. Polar hit a three. Then all of a sudden, Zanaya White, who had a good start, was quiet. Then she got going. Maya Claydor got going. So those three, kind of the veterans there with Arena, I think, stable, allowed the ship to stabilize. And then we were down 6 with 6 minutes left. Talk about that, coach, and battling through that. So you had early in the fourth quarter, you had the tech and all that other stuff, and then 6 minutes left, we're down 6.
Yeah, but Charles, with the way that this team can score, that's not a lot of points for us. Because we can score in a lot of different ways now. We have a lot more firepower than what we had last year with some of the kids that we have in the game now. So we really weren't concerned about that. We just wanted to make sure we was getting what we was trying to get out of our offense. And the way we press now, we can turn you over real quickly. And that's what ended up happening. We turn them over real quick. And we get some quick baskets, and before you know anything, we right back in the game. We done took the lead. So I think we don't ever panic anymore with that. In the past we get out some points for us to catch up. But now it's not because we can score quickly now, and I think that's what makes us a dangerous team because we're never out of games now. We can get right back in the games in a matter of a 2 minute span because of our ability to score the basket.
Well, Destiny Brown with 21 points and 4 rebounds. And I think she put the team on her back when it was time to. Destiny was 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Zanaya White, we talked about her, some key buckets, 12 points. But we forced, Florida A&M into some key turnovers. The stat sheet said just 8 turnovers, but I thought there were some timely turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter. And really all year long, coach, every team we played, even in non-conference, we're going to get our share of turnovers. It's just the question is, can we convert on those turnovers? Some games we do, some games we don't, but we get those opportunities.
Yeah, we get those opportunities, Charles, simply because we're really getting after it when we're in our pressure situations. And like you said, it's just a matter of us finishing plays now because we're going to get those opportunities. We're going to get a lot of those opportunities, to be honest with you. I'm looking back on some games that we played where if we had to put the ball in the basket after those turnovers, we'll be sitting, we wouldn't be in sixth place. We'll be up in the top five easily because we're going to turn people over and we're going to get more opportunities than what they get. A lot of times teams shoot more threes and make more threes than we do, but we turn them over so much and we get more opportunity to score a basket than they do. A lot of times I've been watching the stats on that lately. We getting more opportunities on the offensive end than most of our teams that we play, and that's because we turn them over so much.
Well, we were out rebounded, coach, 26-13 in that game. Despite winning the game, was that a concern when you look back at the stat sheet?
Well, when you but Charles, I looked at that. We wouldn't have won that game. If we hadn't made them turn the ball over. So, but I think we made them turn it over 27 times. And I think that's what kept us close to them because they dominated us on the board. So you got to find another area in which you are able to keep up with them, and I think turnover does that for us. So when you force them to turn the ball over a lot, you can get away with team out rebounding you or a team going to the free throw line more than you. You still gonna get more opportunities because you're forcing them to turn the ball over, and I think that's what helps us a lot because sometimes when we're not rebounding the ball as a unit like we need to be, teams out rebound us, and we got to find other ways to make up for that.
Well, that was a big win, 74-69. Then you make the trip to Daytona, coach, a team that at the Wood Gym, and by the way, they're doing a fundraiser. Reggie Theus was on television today or yesterday. They're trying to raise $100,000 to renovate that gym. And I tell you what, you were exactly right. They play probably 2 gears faster on that floor for whatever reason. I thought we had them in the first meeting and kind of in a box of mud. I mean, they were slow, and I think we had a lot to do with it. But it was a totally different pace, a totally different Bethune-Cookman team getting up and down the floor. And you're right, they play totally different at home.
Yeah, they do, but I'm gonna help Reggie. I'm gonna send Reggie some money on that gym so they can get out of there and play somewhere else. So I don't want to go back over there no more. No, nobody like playing up in there. Oh man, like you said, they're a totally different team up in there, Charles. They get after you up in there, and they know their rims, and they hard to defend, and they're a good ball club at home, and that's what you want to be. You want to be a good ball club at home. I see them getting in a bigger arena, and I think they're gonna change things. I don't know if they're gonna work in their advantage playing in a bigger arena, but it's gonna take some time for them to adjust to that. Where they are now, man, they hard to deal with. If you can stay close to them there, you give yourself a chance to win.
I know the calls were what they were, and it was frustrating, and there were some rules interpretations. When you were able to get some clarity on some of this stuff over the last 72 hours from Saturday to today, were you able to get some resolution? Doesn't change anything, but still, just some of the rules interpretation or lack thereof, were you able to get some of that?
Well, you going with the rule situation. It's simple. All the referees and supervisors officials gonna tell you is, Nate, we missed it. And I got that immediately after the game. We missed the call. They interpreted the rule wrong. And I think two of the officials knew what the rule was. I think they just allowed the other official to be able to make the call, and they shouldn't have been able to do that. Because that rule is not. It's not that hard, to be honest with you. It's a simple rule. You have
Explain
to
that,
have
coach.
possession in the. You have to
Explain
if
what
you throwing
happened.
the ball in up on the If you throwing the ball in up on, we were throwing the ball in up on our basket. So we throwing it towards the half court. We tipped the balls into the back court, and they call back court. You have to have possession of the ball, and then it go into the backcourt before you can call backcourt. So that means that when Cheatham tipped the ball, because she did not have possession of it, she can go into the backcourt and get it. Now, if she had got possession and started dribbling it or something, and then it went into the backcourt, it would have been backcourt. But they call a backcourt play on her, and she only just tipped the ball. And I knew the official what he had the rule wrong by what he was saying. He was saying that the person that tipped the ball cannot go in the backcourt and get it. It had to be somebody else. I'm like, no, I never heard of that before. So I knew he had it all wrong. And my thing was when the officials went to him, from what I'm getting from the supervisor officials, they did not go to him telling him, giving him the information that he needed when it comes to telling him, no, that's not the correct ruling on that. They went to him asking him. And that's what he told them. The same thing he was telling me that, coach, once that person tipped the ball, that same person cannot go into the backcourt and get the ball. And it ain't got nothing to do with who tipped it. You got to have possession, and it just, they just blew the rule. That's all. Didn't know exactly what that rule was on that. Cause even when they came back after halftime, they told me that they couldn't find it nowhere in the rule book. I said probably because it ain't in there when it comes to that, because there's no such thing as what you're talking about. So. But that was just one play. We had to move on from that. We should have got better from that play. But I know my kids were frustrated because we had not been long discussing that same situation in practice. We were talking about that because I think Destiny one time went to get a ball because it was going into the back court. She thought it was going to be back court, and we never had possession of it. And then we was explaining to them that you could just let it go into the back court. We can pick it back up. As long as you didn't have possession, you can go into the backcourt and get it. And then he makes this call and make it look like that. Okay, coaches, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. That y'all just told her we couldn't do that. But I think we got it all cleared up, and because I think the supervisor official talked to the referees right after the game, and she texted me and told me we missed it. So, but they don't help me any. After the game is over, but. It was only one play. It's just so many other plays there where I thought the same referee, they tried to change calls that he had made, and he would not change those calls. And a lot of times he was wrong. And then I just don't think it should be that way, especially with him being the third official. You know, he's not the second official; he's the third official, and he would not never change his call. So that looked bad as a crew. That's what I was telling the supervisor official. They just wasn't a good crew. Not saying that they're the reason why we lost the game, but they had something to do with it because they just wasn't solid.
Well, let's talk about the game, coach. For those watching, you're seeing some of the highlights here from the Wood Gym. What was, aside from the calls, what was frustrating about what we could not do or what we did not do, which hurt us in the game?
Well, I think the biggest thing that hurt us in the game, we didn't keep them in front of us like we needed to be able to. That's why we got in so much foul trouble. That's why we got Destiny in foul trouble, because she was so busy cutting people off, their man from outside, and that ended up getting her in foul trouble. And most of the time when Destiny gets in foul trouble, it's because our guards are not keeping that person in front of them. So we have to do a better job, our man in front of us, and that way we keep our bigs out of foul trouble. And I think Cheatham got most of her fouls because we was pressing so much. She'd get her fouls off of traps and stuff like that. But Destiny's came from guards not keeping their person in front of them. We just have
Well,
to do a better job of that, Charles, keeping them in front.
you see my Claytor and then three there. I mean, we kind of stuck around, coach, with 7.5 minutes left. There it is. It's a 2-point game, and then Finley tied it up. So, I mean, but then all of a sudden they went on a run, and as you can see, they kind of pulled away in the last 7 minutes. Aside from the calls, I know it was frustrating that we were right there in the last 6 minutes despite all that, and next thing you know, that they had pulled away. I know that was tough to deal with.
Yeah, but we didn't execute well, Charles, down down the stretch. We just didn't. I mean, we didn't get the ball where we needed to be getting it at that time. And I feel good when the games are close like that, and we have the ball because I just think we're gonna run our stuff better than other people run it. But they didn't even have to run anything. They got a lot of breakaways and stuff to be able to pull away from us, and I didn't like that part either. That means we really turned it over. And I think we had to did a better job of taking care of the ball and just really running our offense. We lowered teams to sleep when the game is close like that. That's why teams don't like to play us. We make them defend for the complete 30 seconds almost. And most teams are not good at that. Most teams don't defend for no longer than 20 seconds, to be honest with you. Anything past 20 seconds, you can get a layup. And that's what normally what we do to teams is we make them defend for that complete 25 to 30 seconds, and we end up getting easy shots from it. So I think that's going to be key moving forward. That we got to get back to that. The closer the game, the better we execute.
Well, we lose 65 to 52, and not only did we split, we lose out by 3 points. We beat them by 10, and they beat us by 3. And I don't know if you were keeping up with that, but on the tiebreaker situation, I didn't think we would lose by more than 10 points, but we lost by 13. We won by 10, so they have the tiebreaker. And you're looking at the standings, Coach Kilbert. You see where we are, and you talked about it. We're 6-7. We're firmly entrenched in the sixth hole, but we are right now. We're 2 games behind Grambling for the 5 seed, and we're a game up on FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. We've got the tiebreaker on FAMU, but not on Bethune-Cookman. But that's just where we are with 5 games left. So Jackson State coming up on Saturday, Coach. We hadn't seen them since the first week in January. Margaret Richards' team right there in contention. It's a 3-way tie for first place with Texas Southern, Jackson, and Southern University, 11-2. How has Jackson State gotten so much better from what you've seen, Margaret Richards' first year, from game 1 to where they are right now?
Well, I don't think they are playing as well as they played in the beginning right now. When I say right now, I'm talking about their last 3 or 4 ball games, because they haven't played like they've been playing early in the year. I don't think there's playing the last 2 games they played as well, because actually FAMU had them on the ropes. Bethune led them the whole game. So, but it's always tough to win up there. So I don't think they are playing as well. But one thing they are doing, they playing as a team. They're a good unit. And me personally, I don't think they have a bunch of talent. I mean, they have some kids who are good, and they play together, and they believe in each other. I think that's the key. I really think we're more talented when you look at individuals than they are. But they play better as a team. Their chemistry is better. Their egos are not getting in the way, and I think that's a sign of a good basketball team. And I'm sure that they're going to be a different team at home. They're not going to be the same team that came down here to play us, the first game of the year in the regular season, in conference play. They'll be a better team at home, but we feel like we're a better team, to be honest with you. We're doing a lot of things better. We just not consistent like we need to be. Around this time last year, we had gotten to the point where we were a good, consistent ball club where you knew what we was going to do, and we knew how good we was going to be at it. Right now, we kind of up and down. We play solid some games, and some games we don't. But I think the difference in our club is that we're not playing defense like we should, game in and game out. I mean, when we were being solid defensively like we were at Southern, we hard to beat. Like we were at FAM. I thought we was pretty good at FAM defensively. But that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to being solid defensively. And White, Cheatham, and Destiny, they set the tone for us defensively. And Henderson, they set the tone for us. So when we get back to being a good, solid defensive club, we'll start to be able to get back on that road that we're looking to get on. We had expected to be on a roll, when I mean winning consecutive games after each other, or about this time. And we still can get there. Well, there's plenty of time. This Jackson game is huge for us, though.
It'll be the 3rd game in a row on the road, and then we come home, and then we hit the road again for the final 2 games. Coach, what time is that game on Saturday? Do you have a time?
1 o'clock.
1
o'clock start.
So 1 o'clock tip-off from the Williams Activity Center. We'll be on the air at 12:45. That's Lady Braves head coach Nate Kilbert, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, we'll talk to you later in the week and up in Jackson.
All right, Charles, appreciate it.
Standing by, Landon Bussey. Tough loss last night. He'll talk all about it and the Bethune-Cookman big win, and they'll get ready for Jackson. We'll step aside for about 3 minutes. When we come back, Landon Bussey coming up next here on the Brave Sports Network.